Hey, it's me. Yeah, this is not a normal video, is it? It's not Christianity demystified. It's not some weird sarcastic thing. No, this is actually a pretty serious video. Um, it's a video that I felt compelled to make because I am tired of seeing people put some really bad takes up online about this. This channel's purpose is to make Christians think critically and to engage lovingly with their world, and I think this topic certainly comes into play. If you're unfamiliar with this, Donald Trump recently signed an executive order, just his first day in office, called Defending Women from Gender Ideology Extremism and Restoring Biological Truth to the Federal Government. In essence, what this executive order does is it essentially declares that there are only two sexes, male and female. They cannot be changed, and they're based on biological reality. Basically, if you have male genitalia, you're a male. If you have female genitalia, you're a female. And so... I think here they say XX or XY chromosomes. The chromosomes, right? Yeah, they're the chromosomes. Tackling gender ideology and the whole emergence of different gender identities, such as non-binary, transgender, and so on. Now, in the immediate aftermath of this, social media and all different sources, especially conservative ones, were lit up. They were like, yo, this is amazing. This is great. Finally, sanity is returned. Get out of here, woke liberals. Ha ha. Suck on this, liberal cucks. Yeah. And so on. Put it simply, I despise that. I absolutely despise those responses. You have, There is no love in those responses. There is no love in those reactions, or care, or compassion, or kindness, or anything like that. All that is really just years of pent-up rage coming out, and people finally having something that they wanted for a long time, and they are making it known. Now, I want to be clear. This, in a philosophical level, and a theological level, is good from a Christian point of view. The biblical point of view is this: that God created man and woman. In his image, he created them. We find that in Genesis chapter 2 and Genesis chapter 1. He created us as we are. And that is that. We shouldn't be trying to change what God has created. That's the biblical perspective on this matter. And so, to an extent, and so as Christians, I think that there is some positivity that we ought to have while looking at this executive order, where we say that, yeah, it's good that there is some sort of recognition by the government that God created male and female, even if they don't specifically use the word God created. Words, God created. But I'm concerned about how we as Christians, and especially the conservative Christians down in America, again, I'm a Canadian, so I don't technically have this. I am evangelical, but I'm not American evangelical. I am genuinely concerned about how Christians will respond to this. Because like I mentioned before, there were a lot of conservatives online going off and being like, this is amazing, and just lording it over and being like, yeah, get wrecked, you guys, but finally sanity, all this stuff. I can't believe it took this long. Why does this even need to be said? That kind of thing. And man, I don't see the love. I don't see any care or compassion for those who are being affected by this. Because I want to make something very clear here. And whether you want to acknowledge it or not, thousands, hundreds of thousands of people are going to be affected by this order. People who identify as transgender, as some non-binary or whatever gender identity, they are being affected by this. It has just been announced by the government that they live under, that this government no longer recognizes their lifestyle as legitimate. And that's going to cause people a lot of emotional and mental problems. That is simply objective reality. Look, you might say, well, they shouldn't have those problems anyways, dude, because, this is ridiculous. They shouldn't even believe in this stuff. Yeah, okay, fine. Okay, I get it, but you can't change reality, the fact that they will have these problems. Yeah, sure. This ideology is sinful, it is incorrect, it is unbiblical, but people still follow it, and people are still going to be affected because of this executive order. Because now that Trump has come out against gender ideology extremism, there are going to be a lot of people who are affected by it. And now is the time for the church to answer the question to the world what we really stand for. You see, because this is the opportunity for Christians to do one of two things, and there's only one good option. One of them is to fall in line with the rest of conservatives, the rest of those people online who just like trolling and throwing out random nonsense and say, that's right, God is one, we are going to destroy the satanic, woke ideologies that have overtaken our society, and something along those lines. We could do that. We could absolutely do that. And then honestly, I don't think anyone would blink an eye. I don't think anyone would blink an eye if Christians go out and say that stuff. If we start going off and saying, we won, we are the best, you know what? Christ is coming back, guys. That's right. Biblical values, boom. I don't think anyone's going to bat an eye. No one's going to bat an eye if Christians start acting like other people. Like all the people who like to lord it over each other when they get their way. Because that is the reputation that conservative Christianity, biblical Christianity, has taken on. Very quickly, I want to clarify, conservative Christianity is not entirely lined up with biblical Christianity all the time, but so I'm going to say people see biblical Christianity in that light of, yeah, you guys just act like absolute jerks. That's not biblical Christianity, though. The second response is where we as the church come forward and say, okay, yes, we support this. We support this idea. We support this policy. But we're going to do it in a loving way. And I think we can do that in a number of ways. First of all, tone it down. Let's tone down the celebrations. I get it. We're happy. All right, cool, great. But acknowledge that it happened. It's good that it happened. And then let's go on to something else, something better. And this is where the second part comes in, where we begin to reach out to our neighbors who are affected by this. Again, I mentioned that there are going to be people who will be affected negatively, mentally and emotionally by this order. We go out to them and say, hey, right now you're in a time of uncertainty. There is uncertainty, there is worry, you're worried, you're not sure about what's going to happen next, you're not sure if you're going to be discriminated against, if you're going to be treated poorly, extremely poorly because of this. I want to show you the love of Christ. And into that we can come and we show them the love of Christ, that God died for them. And that in God, in Christ, they can find their true identity. And that is a son or daughter of God, so beloved that Jesus died on the cross for them. We have this opportunity to show people that, yeah, you know what? Even though this is a sinful thing, transgender and non-binary identities, even though it is sinful, we're not going to lord it over them. We're not going to mock them or laugh at them. That we're going to show love to them, invite them and show them the true love that is in Jesus Christ. As 1 John chapter 4 says, we love because Christ first loved us. And we don't mock, and this is not part of the verse, but we don't mock because Christ did not mock us. Our response should now be love. How that looks practically? Well, it looks like conversations. You know, inviting conversations with people, letting people who are affected by this order talk. Listen to them. You know, listen to their concerns. Listen to why they're having problems, why this is so troubling to them. Don't pretend like you understand why they have all these issues. Listen to them first. Listen to their issues. And as you do that, have a conversation with them. Ask them questions. Have a genuine care for people. And as you ask questions, do what Jesus did. Ask questions that lead them towards the truth, that lead them towards the truth in Jesus Christ, that leads them away from the darkness that has held on to them for so long, that lead them away from the deception that Satan has brought against them. Lead them away from that and towards Jesus. Yeah, this takes a lot of time. It's not easy, but it's not supposed to be easy. Brothers and sisters, in conclusion, we have an option today to choose. Will we go on and be like all those other people who like to mock and ridicule, to smear it in people's faces that we have secured a victory for our side? Or are we going to go and proactively show the love of God to people? Not compromising on our biblical beliefs, but standing firm on the truth, leading people towards Jesus with love, compassion, and kindness. I genuinely pray that this is what we as the church will do, because it is the call that the church has received. Let us not neglect that call. Thanks for watching.